a carefully selected introduction to the expectations for Winter 2024 anime. So this time, since the Winter 2024 anime has started broadcasting, I will carefully introduce recommended works in the first episode stage. I have personally picked up 6 works that I found very interesting, so I will start explaining them in Winter 2024. Please use this as a reference if you are planning to watch the anime. By the way, I usually only introduce things related to light novels, but this time I will be completely genre-free. Thank you very much. Well then, let's get started right away. First of all, the first work is Dungeon Meshi. This work has had high expectations for a long time, but it is stable after all. It's an anime that should be kept in check, because it shows how interesting it is. The story is guaranteed to be interesting from the time of the original manga, and the video quality is also great. It's of a high standard, so I can only feel safe. It's nice to be able to watch it in a relaxing comedy that combines dungeon fantasy with gourmet food. It's especially interesting when the heroine, Marcel, has a voice and movements. It's really cool that the cuteness has doubled. Then the dungeon gourmet looks pretty good, so I'd enjoy the gourmet as well. But to be honest, I feel like an anime where you can enjoy Marcel's reaction is the best way to enjoy it right now. That's how powerful the characters are, isn't it? If I had to say C, even though the production was Trigger, the visuals didn't have much of a Trigger feel, so there's something a little lacking in that. It's an anime called Hanama. It's okay if all of a sudden you start showing off your Trigger-like personality. Personally, I think it's a perfect score of 100. Also, it's interesting to see how monsters live and how they behave in dungeons, so if you like fantasy, you'll probably like it. I think you might enjoy it. For now, if you're not sure what to watch or just want to enjoy an anime quickly, I think you can definitely check out Dungeon Meshi. Next up on this is this anime, Gushing, over magical girls. The content was quite quirky even among the magical girls anime, but it was the best for a hentai anime. It's similar to Procure, where there is a cleaning magical girl who protects the city, and the main character admires such a magical girl. The comedic theme of meeting the mascot character, which is a classic story, and unexpectedly becoming an executive on the villain's side, was great. The changes in the characters' facial expressions are nice and detailed, and the reactions are varied, so I watched it as a comedy anime. It was made in a way that you wouldn't get tired of it, and to say the least, the main character is a pervert who gets pleasure from smoking the magical girl he loves. We did our best to create an animation of perverted scenes that seem to twist his sexual tendencies. Honestly, I can feel the enthusiasm of the production staff. In terms of content, I would say it's difficult to recommend to everyone, but even as a comedy anime, it's very enjoyable to watch, so I personally think it's worth watching once. I'm still thinking about whether or not I can tolerate my rather edgy sexual tendencies. Please give it a try. By the way, there are various video restrictions for the terrestrial group, so we recommend watching the distributed version, where the restrictions are a little looser. Next one, Bang Brave Bang Bravern. This is an original anime this season, but it's no exaggeration to say that it's the hottest anime right now. It's a work directed by Masami Obari, who is well known for Gravity. It's a solid robot anime, but the story has a very interesting angle. It's a real world in the near future where realistic robots exist, reminiscent of Armored Core. The story is set in a very turbulent beginning, with a joint military exercise between the self-defense forces and the US military, and then a mysterious extraterrestrial-like enemy suddenly appears in the middle of the story. Visually, it looks like Gundam Age's Vega. And then in such a situation, the manager of the story, a super robot who suddenly appears and looks like a hero series, was the best. It's a work directed by Obari, and the title is Yukibaku Hatsu, Bandura. So as expected, I didn't think I'd attack it in real-life style though. But as expected, a lot of things were unexpected, and it was very interesting. After all, it's good for super robots to have mouths. This time, Bravern is a strong word type, so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of interactions they'll have from now on. Also, there was a scene where a mysterious hero song was played, and it was interesting to see it being played inside the cockpit. By the way, it seems like the voice actor's improvisation here was such an interesting performance. I think it's pretty good to have a field that can tolerate such things. The only thing I'm curious about is whether they'll continue to use the super type or the military-based real-life type. I think it's possible to go either way. So I'm really looking forward to the future developments. Personally, I really like the design of the conventional weapon team, so I hope that it will play an active role in future development. It's packed full of fun because it's an original anime where you can't predict what will happen next. It's a work. It's a must-see for those who want to be excited about the next development. My personal request is that I would like to see it combine with expansion units to form a massive figure. There was also a foreshadowing of that in episode 1, so I'm looking forward to seeing if Brave Burn becomes Burn Brave Tony. Next is Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. This is a new anime that can be expected as a romantic comedy this season. It is set in Kitami City, Hokkaido. It was a nice romantic comedy with a bit of naughtiness that was well incorporated into the story. After all, the heroine, Fuyuki, is really cute as a gal. She is close to the main character and has a naughty appearance. It's shown casually, so I guess this is fine for a naughty romantic comedy. It was a video that made me nod involuntarily. The video has a strong fetish feel, and I can feel the perverted obsession of the production staff. His cut, in particular, is big. It tends to draw attention to the breasts, but they definitely focused on the armpits. I think you wrote it, and I personally like it. What struck me was the honesty of the main character. He wasn't strangely arrogant, he was a virgin in a good sense, getting upset when the heroine touched his body, and he was also a good man who was able to treat the heroine well. Love seemed like a really well-balanced main character. In a comedy, I think the main character, who is the recipient of the heroine's cuteness, is actually the most important. So in that sense, I thought she was a very promising main character. For now, I'd like to have a slightly naughty and cute heroine. I think it's worth watching for people who want to have fun. In particular, I think people who like bright and positive gal heroines will fall in love with it. Next up is A Sign of Affection. Since it's an anime based on a girl's manga, I think it's for male viewers. I'm sure there are quite a lot of people who don't care about Zero, but I really like the original manga. However, it's a story of pure love that even men can enjoy, so I highly recommend it. It's a pure love story between a deaf heroine and a handsome man who has a good tolerance, but all the depictions are very careful. If it's a story that has a lot to do with it, there might be some negative parts, but in this work, the heroine is very positive. As the male character, who gets closer to the heroine, also has a non-snarky personality, so I think it will be easy for male viewers to accept it. There are also some parts where the body touching that is typical of girls' manga is done lightly. Yes, but if the genders were reversed, it would be a normal romantic comedy, so it's best not to worry too much about it. However, the production is very delicate, the scenes that are worth watching are visually beautiful, and the heroine can't hear sound. What is it like? I was very impressed with how they carefully express difficult expressions, such as how to express the feeling of living in the world without BGM. Also, the subtitled version is distributed as a separate version of this work, so there are many other things other than the video. The details are also good, right? In the latest episode 2, there is a scene that was not in the original story, and the difficulty of hearing loss and the deep exploration of the character are skillfully incorporated, and the script part is extremely complete. Ryoko Yonayama herself is the scriptwriter for the series. She's a director who can do a lot of hand signs work, and she actually said in an interview that both of his parents are deaf, so she's made an adjustment for their hearing loss. But anyway, the production staff has a lot of respect for this work. It's polite because you can feel it. I think the anime will be quite good as a pure love story. If you like pure love and haven't seen this work yet, please check it out. And finally, this is Sasaki and Pii-chan. This work is also a comedy, but it's an anime with a chaotic feel that makes you addicted. By the way, this is based on a light novel, so of course I wrote the original. The main character of this movie is an old man who is sad and sound, so he already has a unique personality. The story begins when the main character meets the character of a pet who is the reincarnation of a wise man from another world. I like the story, and the appeal of this work is that it unfolds in unpredictable chaos. He uses the power of a sage to move to another world and start earning money by doing witness-like things, but then he gets caught up in supernatural battles in the real world, and the genre keeps changing, and he has a habit of being so free-spirited. By the way, this chaos is still on the rise and the story continues. As the story progresses, new elements are added more and more, making the story even more chaotic. It's a waste if you ignore it. So if you're looking for some new stimulation, please check it out. The visuals maintain a certain level of quality, so I think you'll be able to enjoy it in its own right. So this time, we will introduce 6 recommended works in the early evaluation of Winter 2024 anime. I tried to choose it, but what do you think? Or rather, after making this video, I thought it isn't a great strategy for this season, even the works that I didn't introduce this time. There are quite a lot of interesting things, like light novels based on different world fantasy. There are a lot of very careful anime artists, and I'm very impressed. The original anime also has unexpected developments. It's going to keep me entertained, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in the future. If you have any recommended anime, please let me know in the comments section. On my channel, the main videos are related to light novels. I'm uploading anime videos all the time, so please subscribe to my channel if you'd like. See you in the next video. Goodbye.